Oh, it is the video we've all been waiting for. It is time to put this thing back together, and I'm pumped. Everything looks awesome. It's been cleaned, repaired, replaced, fixed, you name it. Everything on this bike is ready to go and start getting put back together. Hopefully by the end of the video, we got a running bike for you guys. Let's get moving. All right, here's the frame. Got it back from the powder coater. As you guys can see, there's where that hole used to be. I mean, this thing looks awesome. I went ahead and went with a yellow. I think it looks really cool. I was gonna go for a black or a gray, but I thought, you know what, let's just do something different. I got it done by Capital Powder Coating, a guy that goes by the name RH. And let me just say, if you know RH, you know RH. All right, the first step before we do anything with this thing is I want to go ahead and get the old bearing races out of here. All right, awesome. Next step, I want to go ahead, throw the foot pegs on here. All right, let's take a look at these triple clamps next. I went ahead, I was gonna do black, but I went ahead and did like this dark bronze color. I think it turned out really well. I'm excited here. So what we're gonna do is we have to pack these bearings full of grease, and then we're gonna go ahead and press this bearing on, and we'll get it mounted up onto the frame. All right, first step, I'm gonna go ahead and put this piece on. What I like to do is put some grease in here as well. Next, we'll go ahead and drop one of our packed bearings. We're gonna need to pound this down on there. I like to keep an old inner bearing race. So what I can do is I can put this on upside down. And now I'm able to hit this lip here that's on the edge and basically beat this thing down into place. Just like that, there you got it. Here's all the stuff for the swing arm. We got obviously a new chain block. We're gonna reuse the old slider. We got some axle spacers here. And then just the other hardware. We went ahead, already put the new bolts back here, and we already re-greased the bearings in there. So let's go ahead, let's get this stuff on, and we'll get it on the bike. Yeah, I think it's fair to say these came out pretty good. That is definitely like the coolest looking fork color I've ever seen. I'm so excited to get these things together. I got these anodized by a place up in Mentor, Ohio called Anodizing Specialists. And believe it or not, they charged me $42 for the 2 fork tubes and the shock body. So I got a heck of a deal. They look awesome, and I can't wait to get them together. So let's get going. Let's move on to this rear shock. Obviously we got this anodized with the along with the forks. There's a couple casting marks on here, as you guys can tell. Nothing too crazy, I still think it looks great. We got the spring powder coated. Everything else has been cleaned up and is good to go. We got ourselves a new bumper as well, so let's get to it. You've got to be kidding me. Alright, there you have it. The rear shock is done. Now, it turned out awesome and I'm happy with it, but I had the absolute worst time with this thing. I probably had it apart maybe 3 or 4 times. I couldn't get it bled correctly. The shaft wasn't rebounding. After hours and hours of work, I finally get it. I'm all happy, and I go to put it back together and I forgot to put these 2 rings on. And you can't get these on with all the other stuff here, so I had to take the shaft out again, re-bleed everything, put it all back together. Yeah, that was not fun. So yeah, I don't like rear shocks. It is time to do these wheels and I am so excited. I got these rims actually powder coated. I tried to match the Excel Gold as much as I could, and I think I came pretty close, so I'm really happy. I went ahead and got the hubs vapor honed. We got some new spokes and bearings here, so we're gonna go ahead and just start getting these things together. Are just unreal. I mean, these look awesome. I cannot wait to get these things on the bike. I went with the Kenda Southwick 2 in the rear, Kenda Washougal 2 in the front. Keep your guys' eyes out for the Kenda Washougal 3. That'll be coming out really soon, and that's gonna be an awesome tire. But these are both great tires, and I cannot wait to get these wheels mounted up. Yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. Wow. Wow, this is awesome. I'm gonna go ahead, I wanna throw the plastics on here real quick, finish up a couple little things, and then we'll take it outside, show you guys the finished product. All right, it is time for the plastics and graphics, one of the most exciting parts. For the plastics, obviously we went with a Polysport Restyle kit. That's all yellow, I already showed you guys that. And then for the graphics, I went with a company called Moto Cuts, and we'll show you what we got here. It's looking pretty sweet. So this company, Moto Cuts, I've used them in the past. I've been using them for the past couple of years. Awesome customer service, awesome product. And they actually did something really, really cool for us here. I kind of explained them the situation that this was going to be for the TEAMPRYME contest and that I was going to be selling it afterwards. So what they offered to do is, you guys can see here, the front number plate is blank. The side ones are blank as well. I didn't want to go throw my number on here, obviously, because I'm going to be selling it. So what they offer to do is, whoever buys the bike, free of charge, they're going to print them a full set of front and side number plates. So I thought that was really cool that Moto Cuts is offering to do that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get these on here. My hands are dirty, the shop's dirty. So I'm actually gonna go inside off camera, get these things installed. We'll go ahead and fast forward, and here's how they turned out. Let me show you guys what I'm doing here real quick. A lot of times with the Polysport Restyle kit, the rear fenders on these things just shoot to the moon and look absolutely ridiculous. Mine's not too bad, but it could go down a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is, I took a strap, wrapped it around the tire. I'm gonna loosen the 4 bolts up underneath, and then essentially I'm just gonna crank on this thing to bring it down to where I want it, and then just heat it up underneath with a heat gun. All right, so now I'm just gonna go ahead, let that sit there for, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes, and we'll check back and see how we did. All right, this has been sitting for about 10 minutes. It's all cool now. Now before we go ahead and loosen the strap, I'm gonna go through and tighten all the bolts back up. Let's see how we did. Yeah, that looks much better. You can't really tell from the video right here, but once you get the full view of the bike, it definitely comes off a lot more level. All right, so what I'm gonna do next is I'm actually gonna show you guys how I'm gonna make some custom frame guards for this bike. What I'm gonna be using is this KYDEX ABS plastic I got off Amazon. The way it works is basically you can heat it up, mold it into the shape you want, and then it dries hard. For example, here, I'll show you. Over on my brother's KX125, I'll go ahead and link in the description below exactly where I got it and what it is. And hopefully this gives you guys a good idea and you can do it yourself, so let's get to work. All right, this first side's done. I think it looks good. This thing's really tight. There's nothing holding it on but itself, and then this bolt here. Yeah, so we went pretty high up here on the frame, even onto the subframe. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep it that long. I might trim it, but for now I think it looks great, and we'll go ahead and move on to the other side. So as I was filling this thing up with coolant, I looked down and unfortunately we got ourselves a leaker. She is dripping out of there. So that is no good. So I'm gonna go ahead, take this apart, give it a look at it, but we're probably gonna go ahead and have to replace that radiator. All right, that new radiator's on. I got it off eBay for like 25 bucks. It was from like a 2006. They're all the same, doesn't matter. I'm gonna go ahead, put some coolant back in here. Hopefully it doesn't leak, and if not, then we're good to go. We'll go ahead, throw some gas in it, and we'll get this thing outside and get it started. I'm excited. Alright guys, that's a wrap. This thing turned out awesome. Unfortunately, we're not able to ride it. I was planning on riding it, putting it in this video, but with this whole COVID-19 mess, none of the tracks are open. So one day here, I'll get this thing out to the track, I'll ride it, and I'll put up a riding video for you guys. Alright, real quick guys, I don't want to take too long on this, but I keep a spreadsheet of all my costs. That way, I can keep track of everything and then kind of figure out our overall profit when we sell this thing. And remember, this thing's gonna be for sale. So our purchase price was $600. We bought a ton of stuff, and our total cost, our final cost, was $2,272.59. So for less than $2,300, we got that bike, and I think that's a pretty good deal. Hopefully, in the coming months after I ride this thing a little bit, get some enjoyment out of. I'm gonna go ahead and post it for sale. Probably somewhere around $2,600, $2,700 is what I'm looking to get out of it. And hey, if we win this contest or whatever happens, happens. And maybe I can make myself a little profit. But thanks again guys for watching. I had an awesome time with this bike. I hope you guys did too. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.